Take a deep breath. Close your eyes for a moment and imagine the weight of a heavy, wet wool coat draped over your shoulders. It is thick, it is cold, and it is pulling you toward the earth with every step you take. This is not just a coat. This is the weight of every yes you have ever spoken when your soul was screaming no. This is the weight of being the person everyone can count on. The one who never breaks. The one who always has the answer. The one who is always, inevitably, there. You are the reliable one. You are the rock. You are the quiet architect of everyone else's peace. But look into the mirror of this laboratory and be honest with yourself. When was the last time someone asked how you were doing and actually waited for the answer? When was the last time you were invited to the celebration? Not because you could help organize it, but simply because your presence was desired. You are the first person they call when their life is a storm of chaos, but you are a ghost when the sun comes out. You are the first one they call when their heart is broken, their car is stalled, or their bank account is empty. But when they are laughing, when they are celebrating, when they are basking in the warmth of success, you are nowhere to be found. You are the shadow in their periphery, the utility in their pocket, the tool in their shed. You have fallen into the most insidious psychological trap of the modern age. We call it the utility trap. In the eyes of the world, you have achieved something tragic. You have become so useful that you have ceased to be human. You have been dehumanized by your own competence. You are no longer a person with needs, dreams, and a breaking point. You are a function. You are a service. You are an appliance that is expected to work perfectly every time the button is pressed. And like any appliance, no one notices you until you stop working. Today, at the Behavioral Psychology Lab, we are going to perform a deep, forensic surgery on your self-perception. We are going to decode the dark neuroscience of why your reliability is breeding contempt rather than respect. We will expose the biological machinery of the Pratfall Effect and the chilling logic of social exchange theory. And most importantly, we will open the ancient, ironclad vault of Stoicism to give you the cognitive weapons you need to stop being a tool and start being a priority. I am going to make a prediction. By the end of this journey, the heavy coat you are carrying will begin to feel lighter. Not because the world has changed, but because you have finally realized that you are the one holding the buttons. Before we analyze the biological hardware of your sacrifice, we must address a dark loop that is currently playing in your subconscious mind. There is a specific reason why your kindness is actually making people like you less. Most people believe that being too nice is a path to love. But in a few minutes, I will reveal a psychological experiment involving a spilled cup of coffee and a perfect man that proves why your flaws are actually your greatest social currency. We will discuss why your perfection is your prison. But first, to understand why you are currently starving for appreciation while standing in a room full of people you have helped, we must look at the story of the man who became a bridge. Consider the life of a man named Marcus. Marcus was the ultimate provider. In his office, he was the safe pair of hands. If a project was failing at 10 o'clock on a Friday night, the manager didn't even have to ask. They just looked at Marcus, and Marcus would stay. In his family, he was the emotional bank. He lent money to his cousins that he knew would never return. He listened to his sister's 3-hour rants about her toxic relationships, even when he had a fever of 102 degrees. Marcus believed in the account of goodwill. He thought that every favor, every late night, every swallowed complaint was a deposit into a cosmic bank account. He believed that one day, when he was the one in the storm, he could withdraw that goodwill and find 1,000 hands reaching out to save him. He was operating on a beautiful, tragic lie. One Tuesday afternoon, Marcus suffered a quiet, internal collapse. He didn't scream. He didn't have a heart attack. He simply sat in his car in the parking lot and realized he couldn't turn the key. He was empty. The battery was dead. For the first time in 15 years, Marcus did not show up. He did not answer the phone. He went home, closed the curtains, and lay in the dark for 3 days. The ripple effect was not what he expected. He expected concern. He expected a knock on the door. He expected the people he had saved 1,000 times to save him once. Instead, the messages he received were filled with a cold, sharp edge of entitlement. Marcus, where is the file? This is irresponsible. Marcus, I've been calling you for 2 hours about my car. Why aren't you picking up? I thought I could count on you. Marcus, you're being selfish. We had a plan. Not one message asked. Are you okay? In that moment of absolute silence, Marcus realized that he had not built a fortress of love. He had built a prison of expectation. By being so reliable, he had trained everyone in his life to stop seeing him as a human being. He was a bridge, and people do not love the bridge they walk on. They only notice it when it has a hole in it that prevents them from getting to where they want to go. This is the stick figure visual of the utility trap. Imagine a person who has spent their whole life turning themselves into a ladder. They stand tall, they hold their breath, and they let everyone climb up their back to reach the fruit on the high branches. The people at the top are laughing and eating. They are full and happy, but they aren't looking down at the ladder. They are looking at the next branch. And if the ladder breaks, they don't cry for the ladder. They just look for a new way to stay up. If you are the ladder, if you are the bridge, if you are the rock that everyone stands on while you are drowning, you are a victim of the dehumanization of competence. And the science behind why this happens is as cold as the silence Marcus experienced. To understand why the world treats the most helpful people with the most indifference, we must move from the story to the laboratory. We must decode the tu huyet kam zu, or the emotional triggers that drive human behavior. The first scientific pillar is the Pratfall Effect. In 1966, the social psychologist Elliot Aronson conducted an experiment that revealed a devastating truth about perfection. He had 2 groups of people watch a video of a student answering difficult questions. Both students were brilliant and answered 92% of the questions correctly. However, at the end of the video, one student accidentally spilled a cup of coffee all over himself. The results were a paradox. The observers found the student who spilled the coffee significantly more likable and attractive than the perfect student. The perfection of the first student created a psychological distance. He felt intimidating, cold, and superior. But the pratfall, the mistake, made the second student human. It created synchrony. When you are too reliable, you are the perfect student. You never spill the coffee, you never show the sweat. You solve every problem with a smile and a no problem. In doing so, you are accidentally signaling to the world that you do not have needs. You are creating a barrier of superhumanity that prevents people from empathizing with you. You cannot receive love if you do not show a crack where the love can get in. The second pillar is social exchange theory. This theory posits that human relationships are essentially a marketplace of costs and benefits. Every interaction is a transaction. When you provide a service like reliability for free, every single time you are hyper-inflating the market. Think about the air around you. It is the most vital element for your survival. Without it, you would die in 3 minutes. Yet, do you ever stop to thank the air? Do you ever write a letter of appreciation to the oxygen? No, because it is always there. It is a zero-cost resource. In the minds of those you help, you have become oxygen. You are so consistently available that your help no longer has a price. It is an expected baseline. And human beings do not value baselines. They only value gains. The third, and perhaps most painful, is the Ben Franklin effect. This is a phenomenon where a person who has already performed a favor for another is more likely to do another favor for the other than if they had received a favor from that person. The psychology is simple. Our brains want to be consistent. If I do a favor for you, my brain says, I must like this person, otherwise why would I waste my energy? But when you are always the one doing the favor, You are depriving the other person of the chance to invest in you. You are preventing them from convincing their own brain that you are worth something. You are literally training them to see you as a lower status provider. By always being the giver, you are maintaining a power dynamic where they are the receiver and you are the tool. And we do not respect our tools. We only use them. Finally, we must talk about the dopamine of the needed. Many of you are addicted to being useful because it gives you a temporary hit of significance. This is a tu huyet dan ting reputation trigger in its most distorted form. You feel like a high-value man or a powerful woman because everyone needs you. But this is a hollow victory. There is a massive difference between being needed and being valued. A drug addict needs their dealer, but they do not value them. They resent the dealer. They hate the dependency. When you are the one who fixes everything, you are often creating a secret resentment in others because your competence highlights their incompetence. They don't love you for helping, they hate themselves for needing the help, and they project that hate onto you. We have decoded the biological cage. You now understand that your reliability is a shield that has become a shackle. You are the oxygen that no one thanks, the ladder that everyone walks on, and the perfect student that no one can relate to. But how do we flip the switch? How do we move from useful to respected? How do we force the world to see the human beneath the function? There is a tactical protocol called Selective Disappearance and a Stoic exercise known as the Audit of Entitlement. We are about to discuss the precise steps to reclaim your life, but first, you must learn the most difficult word in the human language. To reclaim your value, you must undergo a process of rehumanization. You must move yourself from the sidewalk of utility to the greenhouse of sovereignty. Tool number 1, the no of the sovereign mind. In Stoicism, Epictetus taught us that the only thing we truly own is our prohairesis, our power of choice. When you say yes out of habit, you are not choosing, you are reacting. You are a biological machine. To become a human again, you must reclaim the power of the no. Start small. The next time someone asks for a favor that drains you, do not give an excuse. Do not apologize. An apology is a sign that you have done something wrong. Saying no to a request that exceeds your capacity is not a sin, it is an act of maintenance. Use the phrase, "I cannot commit to that right now." Notice the silence that follows. Do not fill it with empty noise. Let them feel the friction of your boundary. You are teaching them that your time has a price. Tool number 2, the selective disappearance. If you have become oxygen, you must temporarily stop the flow. This is not about being cruel. It is about presence deprivation. Stop being the instant response person. Stop answering texts in 3 seconds. Stop being the first one to volunteer. When you disappear from the utility role, you create a vacuum. In that vacuum, people are forced to do one of two things. Either they learn to appreciate what you did, or they find a new tool. If they find a new tool, let them. They were never your tribe. They were just your customers. Tool number 3, the Pratfall Protocol. Stop being perfect. Admit when you are overwhelmed. Spill the coffee. In the behavioral psychology lab, we call this tactical vulnerability. When you show that you have a breaking point, you are inviting others to empathize with you. You are breaking the superhuman barrier. You are allowing the Ben Franklin effect to work in your favor by asking them for a small favor. "I'm really struggling with this. Could you help me think through it?" This shifts the dynamic from provider-receiver to human-human. Tool number 4, the audit of the Terhud Kamzuk. Analyze your relationships through the lens of the 4 emotional triggers: self, money, love, and reputation. Are people in your life because they love you, or are they there because you provide money, resources, boost their reputation, status, or take care of their self, comfort? Be ruthless. If a relationship is 90% utility and 10% connection, it is a parasitic relationship. You must move it to the inner citadel of your disdain. Marcus Aurelius taught us to look at things as they truly are. A purple robe is just sheep's wool, dyed with the blood of a shellfish. A friend who only calls when they need money is not a friend. They are a debt collector. Acknowledge this truth, and the pain of their absence will vanish. Tool number 5. Reparenting the reliable child. Many of you became reliable because you were the parentified child we discussed in previous deep dives. You were taught that you were only worthy of taking up space if you were solving a problem. You must go back to that child and say, "You are not a tool, you are not a solution. You are allowed to be tired, you are allowed to be messy, you are allowed to be loved for nothing at all." Every time you choose your own peace over someone else's convenience, you are healing that child. You are proving that your value is not a transaction. You are a biological masterpiece, not a machine of economic or emotional output. As we draw this deep dive to a close, I want you to look at your hands one more time. They are still. They are not typing. They are not holding a tool. They are not fixing a broken heart. And yet, in this very moment, you are perfectly, completely whole. The world will tell you that you are losing time. The world will tell you that you are being selfish. But the still face of a society that only values your utility is not a face you should be trying to please. You never had a childhood where you were allowed to just be, but you still have a future. And in this future, you do not have to be the hero of every story. You do not have to be the bridge. You are allowed to be the traveler. You are allowed to be the guest. You are allowed to be the one who is helped. Real strength is not the ability to carry the world. Real strength is the sovereignty to set the world down and realize that you are still standing. In the coming year, 2026, the noise of entitlement will only get louder. More people will try to turn you into an appliance. Do not fall for the trick. Your value is not a performance. Your life is not a transaction. You are an orchid, and you deserve a greenhouse that values your complexity, not just your shade. If you felt a shift in your internal gravity today, if you realized that your reliability is a mask, you are finally ready to take off, then you belong here at the Behavioral Psychology Lab. Consider subscribing as we continue to decode the dark corridors of the human mind and master the art of true sovereignty. Share this video with the reliable one in your life, the one who never asks for anything, the one who is always tired but always shows up. They are the ones who need to hear that they are finally allowed to come home. And remember, the moon does not try to be the sun. It does not provide the light for the harvest. It is quiet, it is cold, it is distant, but it moves the tides of the entire ocean simply by being what it is. You don't need to be useful to be powerful. You just need to be real. Thank you for your time, thank you for your silence, and thank you for having the courage to face the truth. Until next time, keep observing, keep setting your boundaries, and never apologize for the magnificent complexity of your soul. Class dismissed. Think about the most expensive diamond in the world. It cannot build a house. It cannot fix a car. It cannot even keep you warm at night. Its utility is almost zero. And yet, the whole world recognizes its value. Why? Because it is rare, because it is hard to find, and because it reflects the light in a way that nothing else can. Stop trying to be a hammer. Start being the diamond. The right people will know exactly what you are worth. Goodbye for now.